Russell set a personal best in the middle sector of this track. George Russell goes 16th fastest, and that should ensure that when he's at Williams, he out-qualifies his teammate at every single race. Daniel Kvyat in what could be his final race this weekend then for AlphaTauri, where he's actually been getting into Q3 in 2 of the last 3 races. He will hope to continue that on this evening. Goes from 13th to 5th, and that should safely see him through then to the second part of qualifying. On board with Lando Norris. Spot the new helmet on Lando Norris's McLaren as he goes 3rd fastest, puts himself just 0.3 behind Valtteri Bottas. Pierre Gasly goes 9th fastest, so still Kimi Raikkonen very much at risk. Here's his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, goes ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, now leads 9.8 unless Kimi can do something about it. Sebastian Vettel goes 11th fastest. Raikkonen crosses the line, and he's not only out of Q1, but he's been beaten over the course of this season by his teammate Magnussen. 17th fastest, he's out in Q1 as well. Valtteri Bottas with the fastest final sector goes clear at the top with a 1:35.6. Here comes Pietro Fittipaldi, stays 19th, and Charles Leclerc goes 2nd fastest in the Ferrari. Nice lap once again by Charles Leclerc, and we watch now as the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton crosses the line to go quickest of all in the mid 1:35s at the moment. This is Nicholas Latifi, and we saw those yellow flags towards the end of the session. This is how he managed to spin. It was at the final corner. Just lighting up the tyres.
Nice spun on the last surface temps from nowhere.
So Lewis back where he needs to be in the running order, but possibly having used an extra set of soft tyres, which could hurt him in Q3.
Ocon on the podium, and the Sakhir Grand Prix is also outside of the top 10 with Dearly Love to get into Q3 this evening. Been very close to his teammates in recent races, but only managed to out-qualify Daniel Ricciardo once this season. That was in the wet all those months ago in Austria. Danny Kvyat goes 5th fastest, ahead, crucially, of Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
Pierre
punchy.
Gasly just behind him.
Yeah, punchy lap there from Kvyat. That's definitely caught Red Bull's attention, I'm sure.
That might not be good enough for Esteban Ocon as well, as Charles Leclerc goes 4th fastest. Remember, he started 4th last weekend in Bahrain. Antonio Giovinazzi can't make it through, only 12th fastest. Sebastian Vettel, sadly for him in his final Ferrari race, he's missed out on Q3 again. He hasn't reached it in any of the last 13 races. Lance Stroll's never out-qualified a teammate here at Yas Marina. He's going to do that tonight. Can he get into Q3? That'll do nicely. 5th fastest for Lance Stroll, and I think that's his first Q3 appearance here in Abu Dhabi, as well as Daniel Ricciardo can't get into the top 10, and he misses out by just 0.04 of a second.
This is Albon at the moment.
Albon as well. Alex Albon's made his way into the top 10. That has put Esteban Ocon out. Both Renaults are out of Q3, and that really is not going to help them in their fight, of course, with McLaren in the Constructors' Championship, where they started just 12 points behind McLaren before the race this weekend. It's a 1:36.4 to beat that Danny Kvyat has set in the AlphaTauri. It's a 1:35.9 for Lando Norris as he crosses the line. Good lap from the young Brit. Here comes Lance Stroll next to cross the line, and he's into the 1:36s. Can't beat Lando Norris. What about Pierre Gasly? Still in the 1:36s here, but the big guns are all queuing up behind, and it's Hamilton who'll be coming round the final corner in a moment. Sainz at 1:35.8 takes provisional pole, and his McLaren goes ahead, crucially, of his teammates Lando Norris. Here now comes Lewis Hamilton, whose teammate Valtteri Bottas much better in the second sector. Mid 1:35s for Hamilton to put himself on provisional pole. But what about Valtteri Bottas? Had a very good middle sector on this lap and goes on to provisional pole himself by 1/10 of a second. Verstappen settles for second place, and you know what? If he ends up in second place, he might be very happy with that. Here's Charles Leclerc, 7th for him in the Ferrari. Just Alex Albon to finish his lap now. The first flying laps, it's 4th place, second row for Alex Albon. What a good lap by Max Verstappen and by Valtteri Bottas, who's on provisional pole.
Little hop over the top of the off-camber turn 9, and then ease the car, minimum scrub, minimum distance you can reasonably get away with to be on the right-hand side at the end. Again, takes a little bit of drag strip on the way in. Hamilton going very nicely indeed.
He was a 10th up on Valtteri Bottas in the first sector. He set a best overall middle sector as well. And Hamilton up on both Bottas and Verstappen through the first part of the lap. This could get very, very close indeed by the time we get to the checkered flag.
I bet this looks great. It's really hanging on nicely at the back end now when he's giving it a lot of throttle. Got to keep it neat and tight through 20 and 21.
Bottas suffered again in the middle sector, 10th down on Lewis Hamilton through that part of the lap. Hamilton crosses the line. He is back on pole position, back at a racing track after a race off. Hamilton's back on pole. Who can now deny him? Great lap by Lando Norris, goes third fastest. Here now comes Valtteri Bottas, was on provisional pole, was on pole this time last week. He's back on pole himself. Valtteri Bottas by 6/100ths of a second. What a last sector that was from the Flying Finn. Carlos Sainz misses out on out-qualifying his teammate Lando Norris this season. Only 6th for him, only 8th for Charles Leclerc. But what about Max Verstappen? He's gone best of all in the middle sector. He was only a 10th down the first. Max Verstappen's taken pole in the season finale at Abu Dhabi. And for the first time since Brazil 2019, Max Verstappen is at the front of the grid. Lance Stroll takes 8th place on the grid. Here comes Alex Albon, only 5th sadly for him. But Red Bull have saved their best very much till last, and they can celebrate a first pole in 2020 at the last race of the season.
Excellent job.
Come on, boys, come on! Well done, Max. Well done, Max. Mega lap. So that's the first non-Mercedes pole of the year. Well done.
Oh, this feels good.
Absolute quality from Verstappen. He just kept finding time, and as Mercedes were focusing on each other, he's rocked up and stolen pole position. Brilliant stuff there for Red Bull and Max Verstappen.